Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you're joining from. Welcome to LeadSquared's first ever Ask Us Anything session. I'm Saleha Mariam. I'm your host for today. I'm a product marketer at LeadSquared. And joining me, the stars of the show, Rajiv Samuel, Senior Director of Product Management, and Ravi Shukla, Senior Product Manager. So now they're both on the hot seat. We've got a lot of questions from you already, and we can't wait to answer any and all that you send our way. A quick introduction about our speakers. Rajiv has been behind developing standout technology for almost 2 decades now. He is the powerhouse behind some of LeadSquared's most popular features. Think automation, think field sales. Rajiv is the person behind it. Also, we've got Ravi. So every time anyone on the team has any doubts, product, process, or market, Ravi is our go-to person. They both know everything about the product. If they don't, we have a team on the back end to answer all your questions in chat as well. So now they're on the hot seat. Welcome, Rajiv. Ravi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Are you all ready?
Yes.
Okay. So, right off the bat, we've got a bunch of questions from you already. We've decided to address some of the questions that almost everyone had. So, we've clubbed them together. The big doubts, we're going to answer them now. Over to you guys.
Thanks, Saleha. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. As Saleha said, morning, afternoon, night. Thank you for taking the time out to see us talk about LeadSquare, to answer some intriguing questions. Going by everything that you've asked for so far, it's been quite a mixed bag in terms of different areas of the product that we're going to cover. So what we'll do is we've identified some common sets of questions, and then we'll spend the next half hour or so answering them. At the same time, I already see Ajit sharing questions on the chat forum. Please feel free to use the chat window towards your bottom right or towards your right pane, and we can keep answering those questions as well. The way we wanted to structure this is we'll talk you through everything that's coming up so that you're abreast of what's on the roadmap, what's on the anvil in the immediate future. And a lot of these questions that you had raised were also on what's coming up, when do we get notified, and so on, right? So we'll start with what's number one on this list. A lot of people who are familiar with LeadSquared know of Casa. Casa is our home, right? So anything within LeadSquared which is configurable, which is customizable, which is personalized, always ends up somehow on Casa. Casa
I think we're having some issues with Rajiv. Ravi, please take us ahead.
Sorry, everyone. I just got confused whether the network issue was at my end or Rajiv's end. Thanks a lot, Saleha, for clarifying. So, yeah, Rajiv was talking about Casa, and like he was mentioning that Casa is anything that is customizable within LeadSquare, right? And so anything within your business workflow or as a user, whatever workflow you want to follow, that can be achieved via Casa. You can have a homepage designed as per your needs, wherein directly you can navigate to the required workplaces like tasks, leads. You can even have a section of a screen captured over there which has the updates, or you can directly navigate over there. So we have a snippet of it coming forward, and that will make it more clear. Those who are familiar with the mobile application of Casa, LeadSquare mobile application, Casa is already available on our mobile application. And if you are aware of it, you know the power that Casa brings in. So, simply same power with much more flexibility will be extended to the web as well. We'll talk about it more in the next few slides. Next is AI scoring. So, everyone is talking about AI everywhere, and at LeadSquare, our focus is to improve the life of our users and understand what is going on at the ground, and then evaluate how AI can be incorporated. So, one major area that the work is actively going on around is the AI lead scoring. So, the plan over there is to assist our users to take informed decisions and suggest the next best action in terms of what action they should perform for that lead. And this all will be done by our AI trained model, which understands your information, how the leads journey has been. It compares how your successfully converted leads have gone through which journey, right? So finding patterns and correlation for successful conversions versus the conversions that can be converted successfully, and suggesting the actions based on it. So AI scoring is coming up. Then we have global search. So it's going to unify the search across all entities, which is leads, opportunities, tasks, accounts, even object types. So one place search, you can type in whatever you need to search for, and then you can directly access it. We have more content around it. We also have a brand new design language coming up. So we keep on getting the feedback from our users that we need to our UI needs to be updated, and we have heard you. It's in progress. Early next year, you will start seeing the changes around it. Some of the changes will be visible in the global search and Casa screens that we are going to present. And then next gen is something that we are going big on, and it's not a feature, or it's not a specific functionality that we are talking about over here. So next gen is going to change the entire platform. It incorporates the new design language. It incorporates Casa, global search, AI scoring. So everything that we do going forward, it will be part of next gen application. And for the users, the applications that you have been used to within LeadSquare, it is going to change, and the change is for the brighter future, for both the benefit of the user as well as for us to achieve more speed and modernize our application. And we'll talk further in the next slide about things. So as discussed, this is what Casa homepage looks like. We have created a version for one of our customer, Manipal Hospitals, who has shown keen interest in using it. And like Raju mentioned earlier, this is something which is highly customizable. So do not get the idea that this is what it is. It can be anything. So I have another example for a different customer. So over here, if you look at the different widgets that are added, so one widget is showing the count around the inbound lead source. Another is showing the count around the organic search. One widget is talking about the opportunities. Then we have a widget talking about the tasks. So using Casa, you can have a lot of information available upfront on the dashboard, customized the way you want it, and directly access the information from the dashboard and easily navigate over there. And then we also have a quick launch panel at the bottom, which can be added to quickly add an activity, task, opportunity, and all of this is configurable. So hey Rajiv, sorry we lost you in between.
No, take
Um,
these.
yeah,
Yes.
so I was talking about Casa, and then I also covered the first part of what's coming in next. Maybe something you want to add more about Casa?
Yeah, just that Casa can make this is a version of LeadSquared that we've got for a hospital, whereas the very next screen that you got is how it can potentially look like for a customer from education, right? The beauty of Casa is how configurable it is, and more importantly, this is something that anybody can DIY themselves, right? So it takes about. So here's an interesting challenge that I posed to different teams, saying how long does it take to configure a particular screen within Casa, and the record stands at 2.5 minutes. And this is something that goes live into production, right? So it's all easy to drag and drop and then align. It snaps to its origin. So it's a great way for people to interact with the software. And we'll touch upon this later on in the schedule, Ravi. But we spoke about how LeadSquared by itself, we're talking about putting the sales user, the sales manager at the core of everything and building software around them, right? Rather than trying to retrofit features. So this can be my own home screen, and somebody from a different team, although within the same organization, can have a completely different home screen. So this is something that we're super excited about.
Yes. Also, Raju, do you want to touch upon the new navigation on the top when we are talking about the customization?
Right. So we thought, which is the one aspect of LeadSquared that people see the most and interact with the most? The first one was obviously the login screen, which is something that we've changed. I'm not sure if everybody has noticed. So it's gone through a world of difference. The second thing which they can interact with as part of the new design language that Ravi was talking about earlier is how you can simplify a lot of these options, the menu navigation options right at the top. So the crux is that people do not have to see a lot of content which is not relevant for their particular organizations, but at the same time be focused, razor sharp on items which matter to them, their team the most. Right. So we're taking away all of the fluff and then just putting in whatever is absolutely relevant.
True. And like you mentioned, Raju, earlier, that the focus is to build software around the people who are using it. So we know that a lot of our users have a very razor sharp focus on certain work areas. So using Casa, again, we can customize the navigation itself to have the menus and items which I need to focus upon as an individual, and not for some not to see other options which some other team members need to focus upon. So like you rightly mentioned, like 2.5 minutes to customize this entire dashboard, it helps me save a lot of time to spend in navigating from one page to another in order to get the overview. So definitely exciting. We'll move on to the next part. We have AI lead scoring. So Raju, while you had the network issue, I gave them the idea on what AI lead scoring is. Maybe your thoughts on AI lead scoring.
Yeah. So AI, over the last few years, it's become more commoditized. It's available to a lot of organizations, on a consumption basis. And what we've seen is there are a lot of other pieces of software which pivot at its core, right? And what we wanted to focus on, as I said earlier, is to have people at the center and then look at every other aspect of AI which can add on to whatever work they're doing, right? So we already have an existing lead scoring module, which is going to define which leads are better if we target them ahead of the rest of the groupings. Now, what we're doing is we're infusing AI into the mix so that the scores are more dynamic, the scores are more contextual to that particular lead. Maybe it's the journey that the lead has already been on, the prospect has been on. Yeah. And at the same time, it's not only about giving a score or giving a number over there, but then we also go ahead and present, it's not a black box anymore, right? We present reasons as to why we believe this is going to be a game changer, right? So we tell them, this example, Isabella has got a conversion score of 86, which means from a prospect to a customer conversion, there's a pretty high chance. There's an 86% of chance of Isabella converting, really quick. And we'll talk about various different other leads within our prospects within the same bucketing system, and we can start focusing top down so that we've got a greater mileage in terms of conversions. At the same time, if you feel that some of these are incorrect, maybe they visited the pricing page in the last 30 days, which is the last but one option in terms of the key factor, but then you believe that that's not a right metric. Right at the bottom, you've got a toggle which says were these helpful, and you can let us know, and then we'll take that into consideration the next time we calculate and calibrate scores for the others, right? So it talks about two things. One is what's the actual real-time score for conversion. The second is what is the next best action, right? Maybe it's a meeting, maybe it's a phone call. So what we do is we look at all of the patterns on other prospects within the system, within your own tenant, because this is going to be absolutely tenant specific, right? What works for one organization may not necessarily work for the other. So we'll be bringing in all of that intelligence into deriving what the next best action is, and this is something that we've already started piloting with some of our waitlisted customers, and we are bringing it to both leads as well as opportunities.
So also, Raju, I'd like to talk a bit more at this point on the feedback part. So, like we already mentioned, that we want to put our users in the center, whether it's AI or whatever software we build. So, one is definitely getting a feature-specific feedback, and another is getting the feedback around the overall experience to improve the application. So just want to mention that out at this point. I know we'll be talking about it later, but all your feedback matters a lot to all of us. We are actively seeking your feedback and looking at the feedback that you share, and we are there to improve things based on your feedback. So just wanted to call it out right now.
Yeah. So the chat forum doesn't necessarily need to be a Q&A kind of a thing, right? But if you've got recommendations, suggestions for us, which you can take into consideration, you can always start typing those in, and rest assured, both of us, Ravi and me, we are equally responsible for ensuring that most of these get incorporated into the system and the platform at large.
Yes.
Yeah, we will cover some of these specific questions around how do we interact with customers, how do we define what needs to change, through our subsequent slides.
Yeah. Okay.
Ravi, why don't you talk about global search? This is something that you're directly involved in. Yeah.
So global search, like I mentioned earlier, we are unifying the search and bringing it at a central place right next to the navigation. So within LeadSquare, within any of the entities, if you need to search for any content which you are not sure, so you can just type it in. We'll find the context behind whatever you are searching for, whether it's matching with a lead or an opportunity or some other entity. Will present the relevant results right on the top with the tagging of entities. Like we can see that just with Olivia, we are finding 24 results around leads, 12 around opportunities, and then our idea is to not make you go into the next screen to perform the relevant action or to validate whether this is the right record that you are looking for. So on the right side, we have a quick preview set of information. So if you click on one of the record, you can quickly preview the information like the lead properties, what were the recent activities, what are the notes that have been captured, along with the actions available right on the top to call the lead or schedule a task, add a note, and again, this can be customized as per your liking using Casa. So idea is that you can search centrally from the homepage, from the navigation, right from the navigation, get your job done directly from there without navigating into the specific entity details page like leads page or an opportunities page, and then again navigating further into looking at the activities that were performed or going through the tasks that were scheduled. So idea is to unify the experience along with providing the ability to search for things globally and presenting all the relevant information in a user-friendly way. So that's the idea behind global search. It's being worked upon actively. The screen that we are looking at is also as part of our new design system. So this also gives you an idea on how things are planning to be. Things are going to change as per our plan. And the quick preview panel over here is not only limited to the global search. it will be made available across the application wherever it fits well, so that you can take quick actions directly from maybe a smart view, maybe from manage leads or manage opportunities, and it can help you to validate and perform actions quickly. So yeah.
A lot of feedback around how we handle search in general. I think this would be a very good initiative. Very good. Finally picking up the right pieces in terms of getting leads actually where people want to
Yeah.
be targeting them, right? So, and not only for leads, this works even for service tickets and whoever's on our service CRM offering.
Yeah.
You can search for tickets also within the same screen, and you'll be able to see a unified view of everything right over here.
Yes. Yeah, I'll go next. Um, so yeah, so the question from Saili from Jaro's team is that what are LeadSquare's latest features? Raju, I'll talk about some of the latest features that we have released, and then maybe if I missed something, you can add more.
Sure.
Uh, Yeah. So some of the big few things that we have done recently, right? So as LeadSquare, Service Cloud is something that has been a big part of LeadSquare. So we have released the service module. We have a lot of customers using it, and we also have hybrid users. So if you have a service use case and a sales use case, you can have a unified experience right within the LeadSquare. So do check out the service part that has been released recently. We have a dedicated offering around the loan originating system. So we have packaged solutions around it, wherein whatever use cases you need to fulfill around the loan originating system solutions, we have those offerings ready, and you don't need to customize it, or you don't need to uh, configure it from scratch. It's a package solution. You just let us know if you are interested, and we can you can leverage the offering that we have. Additionally, Sierra is something that is part of LeadSquare since a long time. It's the reporting and analytics suite of LeadSquare. It has been made accessible within the mobile application. So if you are a field sales user, you don't need to log into web to access the report from Sierra. You can do it right from your mobile app. Again, if you are a mobile user, and if let's say your field sales team members are on the field trip, and they have some spare time wherein they can do visit some additional leads. So we have a geotagging feature wherein we can prompt the user to evaluate if they want to explore the nearby leads and maybe take up some more time to finish some tasks. It's a nudge to the user. Definitely, it's up to the user, but it's an aim towards increasing their productivity whenever we feel like they can probably interact with more leads. Also, from the the pricing perspective, we have introduced API dashboard for all our billing users, so that centrally you can track how the LeadSquare functionalities are being leveraged, and what is the consumption of the functionalities that are being charged. It's a central place area where you can analyze all your consumptions. Um, Apart from that, we have finally introduced the currency format. So all your businesses, most of the dealings will happen in a fixed currency. So it might be INR, it might be dollars, it might be euro. So whatever currency you have defined, you can define certain fields that are going to store your currency values, and it shows them as a currency field. So let's say deal value can be 10 lakh rupees, but normally it shows 1000 and likewise, right? So with 10 lakhs you can have 10 comma 00 comma 3 zeros, right? So along with the rupee symbol, so it makes it more readable for the user and easy to interpret. Then we have a lot more. Rajiv, I mean I can go on even further, but anything specific, Rajiv, that you want to add?
Yeah, so I've also shared on this chat forum the place where we host all of our updates. We do monthly releases, and there's no such thing as large releases or major releases or minor releases, right? So there's an equal number of distribution of key features when it comes to our monthly releases. And in some cases, we also do feature specific patches, which we want features which we want the market to adopt earlier, or something can be as critical as applying the latest security patches, right? So all of those are available in a month or less, which is also the reason why a few of you may have this question in this mind saying, I often get app updates from LeadSquared. I have to keep updating my Android app or my iOS app. So that's because we keep rolling out these newer features bundled in with every single release, and you can start using them the moment they're available. They're approved and published on the Play Store or the App Store, right? So monthly releases are there. What goes in as part of our monthly release is also documented on our webpage. It's help.leadsquare.com/news. I've already shared a link for that on the chat forum over here. You can keep track of mobile releases, both Android as well as iOS. The platform releases, that is what you see with web, and you also see service CRM product updates. So all of that accessible from a single location.
Thank you, Rajiv. So I hope that answers your question, Sally. Another question we got is, what makes you different from your competition? Now, asking this before buying LeadSquared is usually what we see, but asking this as a customer is, simply amazing. It's what keeps us on our toes as well. So, Rajiv, Ravi.
Yeah, we spoke about how I'll maybe go back to what we did slightly differently, maybe a couple of years back, 3 years back. Post COVID, everything was new. People were working remotely, and we realized that as a mobile solution, we weren't really there when it comes to a mobile offering, mobile presence, right? So we went back to the drawing board. We said that's when the philosophy of putting the user at the core started, right? So we had some great features, but then how do we build them around the user, and then not bombard the user with, hey, you can use this, you can use that, but then you can make a day in the life of an end-to-end user, right? And what are the different facets of the software that they deal with? How can we take out whatever is not relevant for them while it might be relevant for a different customer, right? So putting the sales user as a center is something that we've realized works great. Obviously, an immediate reaction to that was all software should be built like that. In an ideal world, yes. But then there are some proof of concepts that we put out. We try to get a pulse of the audience, of the market, of our competition, and to see and industry trends as well, right? So to figure out what will tick, what won't, and we try to refine that based on wherever the largest interest is from our customer base. Okay? So having software built from the bottom up, a lot of focus on the user experience side of things is something that stands keeps LeadSquared yards apart from most of the competition, right? So on the experience front and keeping user first, that's one key lever. The other would be how we are an end-to-end solution for several industries. So at edtech means LeadSquared, manufacturing means LeadSquared, financial services means LeadSquared. So I'm just stating a few examples of industries, but then we are a generic software, but then we've also got point solutions built atop the platform, which are offered to our verticals, right? So that you know that when you're getting LeadSquared as a whole, you're getting not only the entire package, but also something which is highly specific to a particular vertical. Yeah, Ravi?
Yeah, I mean, definitely aligned and agree with what you mentioned, Raju. So I've spent close to 3 years at LeadSquare now, and I mean, day in, day out, we follow this philosophy wherein we put our users in the center. And my personal belief is that the differentiating factor between our team and what we do and how we differentiate ourselves is, as a user, if I'm going to use this software, does it help me make my day easy or not? That's the simple question that we would like to answer, right? So if I'm spending good 6 hours, 9 hours on a software on a daily basis, it should not be frustrating. It should help me to complete my workflow smoothly, achieve whatever I intended to, right? So if our software can be a user's friend to help them what they need to do on their day-to-day basis, then it clearly differentiates us from the competition. So our focus is definitely on it. On top of it, definitely the functionalities that are required by our customers, by our users, we try to explore what is the best way to address those new requirements, and how can we create a package solution around it so that it benefits everyone. So the philosophy behind creating a solution is also something that differentiates us, in my view.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Next question is from Umaid. How can AI be integrated into LeadSquared?
Yeah, Ravi, I know you touched upon this in the beginning when I had a fair share of issues, but the way we look at LeadSquared as a holistic software is we're more about people first, and at risk of repeating this multiple times in this conversation, AI is something that we already do, right? So AI is something that we've got right now as part of image recognition. You can click a picture of let's say a visiting card or a shop board for that matter on the mobile app, and it'll convert it into text. It'll feed it directly into your forms. This is something that we're already equipped with, but this happens behind the scenes. These are enablers, these are add-ons. uh, is it a feature that we'd go ahead and say, what, we completely AI enable it, right? It's all about these little things which happen along with the flow, the end-to-end journey, the day in the life of journey that Ravi was talking about. How does AI augment some of these capabilities? That's what we're talking about. We already do great summarization of tickets. We are currently working on AI lead scoring, which will be out this quarter. We're already working with customers on that front. We're talking about content generation through for email and marketing campaigns through Gen AI, right? So all of these are add-on capabilities that will continue to enhance. Some of these we've already got into the system. You can reach out to your account managers to know how you can be part of whatever is coming up, so that you can be waitlisted for some of these features. And at the same time, you can be early adopters, pioneers of some of these cutting edge tech, right? Ravi, there are a few items that you've also been working on, which
Yeah.
is AI centric.
Yeah, definitely. So, lot of things when people talk about AI, and like you rightly mentioned, it's not everything that a user sees in front of them, right? If some of the things that they do can be completely removed from their action items, that is the best thing where AI can contribute, and that too with confidence, of course. So, integrations come into picture definitely when we talk about AI. It's not only the application user actions that we perform. So, content passing is offering that we have released since I think now a couple of quarters now, almost a year, and it does the job very well. So, let's say you are receiving a lot of queries over email. You can connect your inbox using our UDS offering, and then behind the scenes from the attachments, we can extract the information, create leads, and do a lot of things that otherwise you would need a specific set of team to do. That to a lot of manual activity of scanning the emails thoroughly. So, content passing, we have a very wide offering around it. Please do check it out. And while I talk about UDS, the configuration of UDS, AI does support configurations over there. So let's say if you need to write a transformation logic, I don't want to go into the technicalities of things, but let's say if I as a user need to set up UDS, which is Universal Data Sync, to do a lot of the things in the background within my application and my organization, maybe capturing leads from my websites, from different tools that I've been using, integrating them with LeadSquare. Lot of logic can be auto-generated using AI, and those queries can be generated by AI. So if you are not a tech-savvy person, you can leverage AI to write those logic, right? So yeah, I mean, Raju, on top of what you mentioned, behind the scenes also we are very active on introducing AI to make things easy.
Right, that's true, Ravi. May have lost a video for a bit, but then yeah, we did speak about AI. We've been talking about this for some time, and we'll cover more of these in subsequent questions too.
Yeah, yeah,
Right. Also, at this point, I'd like to give a shout out to everyone who sent us AI generated questions. We can tell, we can tell, all of you asking how we can supercharge your sales or turbocharge your operations. We saw those questions. Just a quick shout out to you for being so proactive, using AI and asking us about how we're going to use AI. That's great stuff. On that note, we received a lot of questions on how you can, use LeadSquared to boost sales efficiency. So here's what. Here's
yeah.
our next question from Vipul. How will LeadSquared make the lives of our sales users easier?
Yeah, let me take it up. So it's definitely, like, so far, I think all of us on the webinar know that we like putting our user in the center, right? And we have been doing that. So when it comes to making the lives of our sales users easier, I think I answered it a bit in advance when I was talking about the previous point. So yeah, I mean, definitely sales users are the primary users of our application, right? And we simply want to achieve their day-to-day tasks as efficiently as possible, and as per all the business needs. So one single offering might and will never suffice all the use cases. At times it doesn't even suffice within the organization, right, between teams. So how can we make our product flexible enough that it addresses the requirements of every team, every user within the organization? And while they spend a lot of significant time on our application throughout their day, how we can ensure that the application guides them through the day, helps them in taking the required decisions and performing the required actions throughout the day. So every user will have a set daily workflow that they would like to follow. So how can our application fit in exactly the way user wants it to be? So Casa is coming in. Definitely, Casa is going to help everyone customize the way they want. Without Casa, as of now, it might not be exactly tailored to every user's need. But with Casa, that is also going to be possible. And like Raju mentioned, feedback is something that we continuously look for and actively work upon. So any feedback around how a specific set of users or how a user feels that we can help them improve their user experience or their LeadSquare experience, we are ready to go into the details and talk to them, understand, and then create a package solution around it. So yeah, that's how we try to make our users' lives easier.
Thanks, Ravi. So now we're talking about sales users and making their lives easier, right?
Yeah.
What are we doing for field sales? I bet they have it the hardest.
Yes,
So
Raju, if you
I'll,
can.
I'll take that up. So we've grown leaps and bounds, Saleha, and everyone over the last few years when it comes to capabilities of LeadSquared Mobile, right? And what we're seeing is uh, people absolutely loving the location insights capabilities that it's got to offer. I saw a few questions around PJP on the chat as well. PJP is another item that we've added as a feather to our cap. So people can now start planning their month in advance on the mobile app. They can send their journey plans for approval, their beat plans for approval. The managers can approve it right from the mobile device, and they can. We are able to track how many of these they're able to complete within the specified duration. It serves as a reminder for field sales personnel of what's coming up for them in the day. And at the same time, we're also talking about how do we optimize a day in the life of a field sales person, right? How do we go ahead and then say, if these are 10 places that we need to go to, what is the best order of visiting these locations? So these are some solid features that we've come up with over the last few years. And field sales continues to be an integral part of our focus. We're working on, I know we didn't cover this as part of what's coming up, but we're working on how can we distribute leads to people who are already there out on the field, who maybe they're closest to a lead already, right? So how can we basically Uberize lead distribution, Uberize a task distribution, so that we can reduce the overall time taken for a lead conversion, a task completion. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So, now you've mentioned a bunch of new features. Right? We're bringing in Casa, we're bringing in new design layout, a lot of things. So, how do the new features differ from the old ones?
Yes. Um, so definitely, I mean, first of all, not a large difference between the old features and the new features. The philosophy remains the same. With every new feature coming in to the application, we are getting closer and closer to what we want to achieve as the overall experience for our users. So differences around the overall experience that feature A provides versus a feature B between the time they were made available. That definitely will be there. Also, we have next gen application coming up, which will be the main application, and we already have a lot of our users using it, right? So we are doing a controlled rollout in terms of choosing the right audience for it, and we have been enabling next gen for our customers on regular basis, and we have been getting the feedback from them and have already identified the improvement areas that have been suggested and are being incorporated in the new design system. So I think how the difference is getting created is in terms of the availability of features. So availability of all features will be there in next gen. All the upcoming features will be made available over there. So irrespective of which platform you are using, it will be made available. um, all the new features will have a new design system, and then parallelly we are also working on applying the new design system all throughout the application. So once we achieve it, everything, even though the feature has been released 2 years ago, the old features will also start reflecting the new design system. So definitely, we have been following the same journey. Some finer nuances of the features do differentiate us. Also, like when we talk about global search, that is going to come up, right? Or Casa, which is going to be too heavy for the application. When I say too heavy, it means that since it is made to work for every user the way they want, we need to ensure that the system performs as expected. So all the features that are getting released now or are in plan, we have an active focus on the system performance, the application performance, the getting the end outcome of the expected outcome of the feature in the fastest possible way for the user in terms of overall load times and getting the outcome. So yeah, it's a continuous improvement journey, I would like to say. And as and when we release new features, we are improving at every step. So if you compare over, let's say, a month over month, maybe the differences might not be visible. But if you take a larger time frame, then definitely you will see uh, us making major differences in terms of the direction that we have picked up, and then it will make more sense.
So, greater efficiency with the same simplicity, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
enhanced as well, and at times, but not necessarily the same.
Mm.
Perfect. I hope that answers your question, Kashif. Moving on, now we've got a very important question. This one is something that everyone has been on everyone's mind. Our search filter, we can either search with or conditions or and conditions.
Yeah.
So when will we be able to combine the and or search feature?
It's getting delivered in Q1 25. So everybody will be able to combine both end and or and derive more meaningful results out of it using the combination by end of Q1 25.
Perfect. So everyone, you can just pinpoint those leads that, wouldn't answer the call or they send you a rude reply, you can just pinpoint them by Q1 2025.
Yeah, we're hoping global search by itself will take care of that necessity. But at the same time, for all those difficult situations or nuanced conditions, we can certainly look at and/or. This has been a long time ask in the making, but we'll make sure we deliver on it.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you, Raji. What are the future plans for new modules in LeadSquared? From Tahir.
Yeah. Raju, maybe you want to talk about the upcoming modules which we all are actively working on.
Yeah, we covered a bunch of these to start with. Our focus continues to be on all of these, on verticalization, and we already spoke about the new design system, next gen CASA, the AI aspects of it.
Financial services, we are bullish on it, Raju.
Yeah, we are. In fact, this is more of a for a newer module. We already have loan origination services as one of the key
Yes.
capabilities that we introduced this year. So we continue to be bullish on financial services.
Mhm.
At the same time, a lot of manufacturing related features have been taken up. PJP being a key one, right? So we continue to deliver. We're working on order management or rather order punch-in to be very specific. So there'll be great advancements in areas of adjacency, Tahir, and that's the way we see the future going.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on, what are some smart ways to notify users when new leads are generated? And how can we create a custom dashboard for this? Roshan from Kalti.
Yeah, Ravi, you want to take this up?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going to that question. Yeah. So we already have nudges available within the LeadSquare application. I'm not sure, Roshan, if you have explored it. I would like you to visit our help article website first, understand what nudges is, and probably get more details from the account manager to help you understand over this call. So let's say any action that happens behind the scenes, right? I, as a sales user, I get a lead assigned to me, or a new task gets created against me, or lead updates a specific set of information. Let's say I reached out to the lead to update their address because it was not updated earlier or it was incorrect earlier, and lead performs that action. So what are the smart ways of getting notified? So what nudges does is you can configure the scenarios in which you want to get notified as a user, or rather as an admin you want your new users to be notified. And whenever that situation or scenario is true, system will automatically send a notification to the user in the Converse Carter window, wherein they can be notified real time that, hey, this lead has been assigned to you. Lead, your following lead ABC has updated the address, and right from there you can easily navigate to the respective task or the lead. And you also know that you are, I mean, because of the delays in receiving the information or self exploring the information, there will be a lot of delays if you rely on self exploration, right? So if system notifies you, you save a lot of time. Some of these will be critical to the user, some of these nudges will be critical. And that's how you can be updated as a user on what is happening in the background with your leads, and save your time, take the next action required, and jump on quickly. Raju, also, if you could like to touch upon CASA, how CASA can be helpful in this scenario going forward.
Yeah, apart from whatever we can set up as part of analytics through either through CRR or one of the inbuilt reports, you can house them also on the homepage itself. Some counters with respect to smart views can be placed over there. So these the most commonly used set of indicators are available right on the home screen rather than people having to navigate to a different segment. And because you can have up to 4 home screens configured, this should be really helpful in creating that curated experience.
Right. Right. I mean, apart from nudges, Raju, what I understood is right at the home screen, I can get the updates in a smart view counter or a task counter. And
Yeah, there are multiple ways, right? It can even be an email as part of automation that can be set up. It can be a text message. I can be notified as a Sage user.
yeah,
I will be on the go. It can be an app notification. So there are several such channels which exist as capabilities, and it can all be configured through either automation, within automation through nudges.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Perfect. Perfect. So, uh, I as a user, I mean, after listening to what you just said, I can envision myself keeping the Casa dashboard open and then doing the rest of the things so that uh, I have accessibility to all the things that matter to me. It also gets updated on its own, so I save a lot of time. And keeping it open, looking at it in between to stay updated, or to move to the next step, it kind of sits in the center of my daily workflow. I feel like that.
absolutely.
Perfect. Perfect.
Perfect. So now we'll just quickly take a few questions from chat.
Yeah.
Everybody, you can just put all your questions into chat. We're reading them right now. So if you have questions for Rajiv, Ravi, just put them there and we'll take them up. While you're getting to this, I'd like to bring up one very profound question that we got in earlier while promoting the webinar. It's a very deep question, okay? So Dhimant wanted to know, why do the names of both the speakers start with the letter R? Rajiv, Ravi, can you please explain the strategy behind this?
I mean, yeah.
I'm stumped, right? I was prepared for really difficult questions, but then this takes the cake. We didn't. Truth be told, we didn't plan for it. It just happened that way. But yeah, the initials do spell out RS.
Yes, yes. I mean, it's completely unintentional, but if unintentionally we are able to bring this synergy, then definitely the all the efforts that we put in towards achieving the roadmap and the experience that we want to create, you can understand if unplanned way we are able to bring this up. So behind the scenes, team does achieve everything.
Perfect. I hope that answers your question, Dhimant. When we said you can ask us anything, Dhimant really understood the assignment on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't disagree, Saleha. I think while questions coming in, there was another great question from Shreya. Did we tackle this? We haven't, right? We haven't spoken about this.
I'm just going through it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you share LeadSquared's approach to integrating customer feedback into product development?
Yeah, this is a great question, right? And when I was looking into all the questions that had been raised, I thought this is very pertinent because one of the things that we do is we do workshops with customers. We, as in not somebody else, and not an external consultant. It's going to be Ravi. It's going to be me. We've done several such workshops, and it doesn't have to be a large audience. I've gone into customer locations and then spent some time with actual end users, right? Talking about how can we, as Ravi spoke about this earlier, saying how can we make their day, maybe 5% more better, 10% more better in terms of how they utilize the software. We understand, sometimes going through the motion, check in and check out and everything that happens in between is a blur. But then if we can add a bit of delight, if we can, reduce 5 clicks into 3 into 2, and we can get information handy at the same place, then why not, right?
Yeah.
So we do these customer reach outs, and if you'd want us to want to have some quality time with product, sharing your concerns, sharing your feedback, then we are available. We can meet up. We can talk about what we can do differently or what should we start doing more of, and this gets incorporated into the product. We don't have a very long life cycle for this because, as I said earlier, the focus for us has been on experience over the last few quarters. It will continue to be on experience over the next few quarters as well. While the teams are at work hard on performance, they're working hard on performance metrics, matrices, and stability, and all of those other things. This is something that we wanted to inculcate as a behavioral change from the product team too.
Yeah. And Rajiv, I mean, customer reach outs, either from our side or interest generated from the customers, and that we do definitely. And we also have other channels through which we get the feedback, right? So NPS is one. Account managers, sales success owners. So our users, customers reach out to them directly with any specific feedback. At times they write directly to us, right? So any channel through which we can get more feedback or get the accurate feedback, we actively focus on those areas, and then like Raju mentioned, the cycle is not too long, so the feedback reaches to the relevant person on right time, and then things can be improved real time. So yeah, irrespective of the channel you choose to reach out to us, if you are interested in actively sharing the feedback, do prefer any channel that you would like to use, and we are there to address those feedbacks and incorporate and improve the product.
Perfect. Thanks, Ravi. Adding on to that, with our webinars and customer engagement activities, we do take in all the feedback that you send us. Some of you really send a lot of feedback that I want this to change, I want that to change. I really love it if you could do this to this feature, and we make note of all of that. So if you enjoy these kind of webinars, and if you'd like to see another Ask Us Anything session, please let us know on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being the highest, 1 being off limits. How helpful was this webinar? And we'll continue to curate more such content for you.
Yeah, and
On
Satya, I
that
think,
note,
so our team has been addressing a lot of questions over the chat, but since we are running out of the time, do feel stay assured that we'll get back to you via the email. So Saleh, plan is to reply using email, right? Wherever we are not able
right?
to address right now. So yeah, if your answer
So
has,
we've made all your questions,
yeah.
the ones you said before the webinar, the ones you sent during the chat, and we will get back with the answers. You'll also have a recording of this session sent to you. So in case you missed some of the good parts, which is basically the entire session, you can always rewatch it. And I've dropped the email address in the chat. Any account related queries, any access issue, you can reach out to your account manager, or you can drop us an email at support@leadsquared.com, and we'll get back.
Also, just
Okay.
to add to it, Saleha, so if there are any billing users in the audience, they can directly access managed subscription, and they have all this information available over there. Whom to reach out to, who is there, which POC. So they can access that and find the relevant contact points from there.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Thank you, Ravi. Thank you, Rajiv. We answered all the questions. You'll also get a recording of the session. No worries. See you in the next one. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.